Oh. Oh! Welcome back to Omori. This time, we are going to start going through what is known as the Hikikomori route, where we basically don't open up the door for Kel. And he just won't stop knocking. It's very distracting. Something that I want to add about this playthrough, this route, is that it's gonna be full of spoilers. If you have somehow found your way here and you don't know anything about this game, if you don't know anything about Omori, this is like a big ol' spoiler warning for like so much about this game. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch these videos. Don't watch these videos. Please. Like, go watch my other playthrough. Go watch someone else's playthrough. Play the game yourself. Do one of those things. Because the game is fantastic with its storytelling, and I do not want to be the bringer of spoilers. Also, my understanding is that the Hikikomori route, this knocking is very distracting. My understanding is that the Hikikomori... Can I pause? Oh my god. My understanding is that the Hikikomori route has a lot of repetition. So my focus on this playthrough, this route, is to only really focus on the differences in between the main route and the Hikikomori route. So there's going to be a lot that's cut out. I'm not going to include every single thing. If I have musings, if I have thoughts, I'll include that. But most of this is mainly trying to focus on the differences that I'm seeing, noticing, all that good stuff. So just putting it out there about what to expect. Not everything. Because so much of this, it seems like, is going to be the same. You don't need to see that. I've already seen that, probably, hopefully. Are the people who don't know about Omori gone yet? I really hope so. Anyways, Kel is knocking. We should not keep Kel. I was gonna say disappointed, but I guess that's exactly what we're doing. Ugh. Just... Okay, Jesus, Kel. Hello. Hello! Sunny, are you there? Do you remember me? It's your old friend, Kel. I remember that at this point in the game, I had already opened up the door for Mari, which is very sad. Like, once you know what happens to these characters and Sunny and Mari, it's incredibly sad now to look back at that. Like, it's scary the very first time. Especially because I didn't look at the pictures. I didn't know who Mari was. I didn't know she was our sister. But now that I know who Mari is, her connection to Sunny, and everything else that's happened, it's more sad that Sunny is alone at night. He ate the frozen steak. He grew up the frozen steak. And then he sees Mari at the door. And I guess another thing that I noticed, because of course I didn't do this smart. I actually like played through part of the game instead of like working smarter, not harder, is that the Mari that we see at that part who like knocks on the door and is like, hey, remember me? She's colored. And like we see Mari, of course, in this dream world. We also see Mari a couple other times later in the game. And the Mari that we see who talks about forgiveness, who talks about, hey, Sunny, like, kind of encouraging moving on, encouraging processing through the trauma, that Mari is black and white. But this Mari, who knocks on the door, who is almost like... My brain goes to, like, a mental image of, like, SWAT. Almost like SWAT kicking down a door being like, bitch, it's me, your trauma. That Mari isn't really encouraging processing through things because she is a horrific, neck-bent reminder of this trauma. And it's really two different versions of Mari. The black and white Mari is this... She talks about forgiveness. She talks about almost processing through the trauma. Not in those words, of course. Could we say that that's like the real Mari? If we want to call it a ghost, if we want to call it a spirit, maybe. Or maybe that's how Sunny would see the real Mari if she was actually encouraging. And not like this perfectionist style Mari, maybe. Like the Mari who made cookies, right? And then we have this Mari who knocked on the door. Not here, of course. That Mari seems like Sunny's representation of the trauma, just like the something. Where it's scary. It's horrific. It's anxiety-inducing. It's not there to, like, move us forward in processing through things. It feels like it's there to keep us stuck. It's more of a blockade with processing things. It almost feels like it is there to show us just how scary processing through trauma is, which makes us avoid it. It's two very different versions of Mari that we end up seeing throughout the game. I don't know if we'll see the black and white Mari in this route, but I noticed that. And the game almost shows, too, how hard it can be to process through trauma. Because we have Mari knocking on the door before this, and if you open up the door for Mari, you get this jump scare. And that kind of teaches us that opening up the door is scary. Which is a lot like how trauma and anxiety can be. We learn that that is incredibly scary, and so our instinct is to avoid it. And that's how the game is showing that with opening up the door for Kel. And so I can see how a lot of people might have kind of accidentally done the Hikikomori route just because of how the game set it up, which is, again, mirroring how trauma and anxiety might feel for us. Something that I noticed when I worked harder and not smarter and played through some of, like, the earlier game stuff when I didn't. Anyways, going back to Kel. Do you remember me? It's your old friend, Kel! So I noticed the for sale sign in front of your house, and I heard from my mom that you were moving away soon. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out one more time before you go, or whatever. I have a tendency to just, like, keep mashing a button to skip through text. I have to restrain myself here so I don't accidentally hit yes when I don't need to. Sounds bad. For old time's sake, you know? Because they also do the very, like, dramatic turn around Sunny, the same way that they did with Mari. It's very much a mirroring of what happened when we opened up the door for Mari, so I can see how they're setting it up to make it feel the same. So facing our friends feels like facing the very scary things. Do not. I'm sorry, Kel. And Sunny. Oh. You know, I'll give it to Kel. He is insistent and persistent. All the instances. You can also hear that knocking throughout the entire fucking house. I also like how I didn't know this was a thing at this point in the game, but even if you click on it, you still know that there's nothing there, of course. Well, still nothing behind. Still terribly alone. Bye, Kel. Terrible. Very comfortable bed. Would you like to sleep? I can guess so. Oh! I had an expectation of white space. Not that that would be comforting, but it's just what I know. You took a short nap. You should get started on chores soon. Oh. Well. Okay. Take a look at your to-do list. I've never done the to-do list. Today your chore is to sweep the house. Do you want to start now? Sure. Up to Mom's broom. I like how it's purple. Isn't that what the weapons are? The dirtiness of the floor is now apparent. Oh. You can only see the dirt if you are equipped with a Swiffer. Assuming that's kind of what this is. Jeez, how dirty is this floor? So there's more of a focus on, like, the real world? Well, I guess... No. There's a lot that we could do in Faraway, in town. So maybe not even, like, more of a focus on town. But the difference is that real life, at least so far, is confined to our house. Which makes sense, all things considered. Oh. And the dirt piles in the bathroom are the same color as the flooring in the rest of the house. I guess I expected it to match, because everywhere else in the house it matched. And I keep... No, I don't want to stop sweeping. I just wanted to stop looking at the mirror. I keep... And there's gonna be something in the mirror. Almost like there has been basically the entire rest of the game. When it comes to Hikikomori stuff, I very much want to own that I am not an expert in Japanese culture, or Asian culture, or a lot of cultures. And I want to own that because I don't want to feel like I'm mansplaining a culture to someone. Like, that is not my place, that is not my thing. But another reason why I feel like owning that is because American culture doesn't really have these things. So, like, I'm kind of familiar with the concept, and I'll own that I'm kind of familiar with the concept because of a lot of, like, anime culture or video game culture really talks about these things a lot. But these concepts they don't exist in the same way in American culture, which means my formal education hasn't taught me shit about these things. So I want to own that. So Hikikomori, my understanding, at least, of Hikikomori, is that it's a Japanese concept, and I also want to add that sometimes there are concepts in other languages that don't have an actual, like, direct English translation, or, you know, to other languages too. But my understanding of Hikikomori is that Hikikomori is when someone doesn't want to engage in like society, in culture, like that kind of stuff. So that means that they probably aren't working, they aren't going to social events, that kind of thing. And there's also another concept in Japanese that is very similar. It's NEAT, not in education, employment. Education, employment. I had it right. Not in education, employment, or training. I had it. Whatever. And that is very similar in the sense that, like, society says that working is good. Like, you are a productive member of society if you are working. Therefore, you are, like, you're good, you're succeeding, right? If you are working. And if you're not working, that's bad, right? It's very black and white. But I think society considers it less bad if you are doing things that help you to work. So getting an education, some kind of training, like those things, they will help you to work. So they are acceptable. I usually think of NEAT applying to people who who are like out of high school or whatever the equivalent is abroad. So it's not people who are like literally children, if that makes sense. It's more like, oh, you're technically an adult. Why don't you have a job? And so it's that kind of an idea where it's like you're not working and you're not doing the things that will help you to work. Because again, like, I feel like society is a little more kind if, yes, like, you're not working, but you're doing things that'll help you to work, right? So if you're in college, sure, you're not working, but, you know, you're getting the thing, you're doing the thing to get to the thing, right? So I feel like these two concepts of NEAT and Hikikomori are very similar oftentimes. When I think about the way these things are often talked about, I feel like Hikikomori feels more willing. So again, this is just how I mentally picture it, and I could be completely off base with this. Totally want to own that. But I feel like someone who would be like labeled a NEAT, there's often, I feel like, more of a desire to work, though. It's almost like they don't want that. It's like, I do want to work. I do want to, I don't know, go to school. I do want to do whatever of these things. It feels like it's the lack of whatever it is to be involved in society or whatever society considers productive is against their will, is usually like the feeling that I get with NEAT. Although it is very similar to Hikikomori. When I think of Hikikomori, although I stumble over that word so fucking much usually. I'm very proud of myself today. When I think of Hikikomori, I think of a willfully disengaging from society. I think of somebody who basically kind of like looks at society and is like, this is shit, this is awful, like what happened to this? And it's kind of like, I don't want to be involved in this. So maybe some words that might feel similar, but not quite similar, or maybe more similar than neat, might be like hermit, where it's like, sure, I could get involved in society, I could like do that stuff, but I don't want to. And either way, I don't feel like Hikikomori is often looked at in a very positive way by society, at least that's my understanding. Again, so when we're talking about Omori, this being a Hikikomori route, I don't know if it's officially called that or whether like fans just call it that, whatever. What that means to me is that Sunny is purposefully choosing not to engage in society. And we have kind of already seen that with like the entire game, regardless of which route we're kind of going with, because we do know that Sunny chose to stay inside for 3 or 4 years. Didn't leave his house, again, like didn't engage in society. Could we say that that's willingly? I don't know. I kind of could be on the fence with that, because if the reason why we do that is because we feel like we are so anxious, or there's so much trauma and like that is causing some anxiety for us, and we're like then staying inside because of that, I don't know if that like has the same feeling. And I think that is often something that kind of gets debated as well when it comes to Hikikomori. And the reason why I say that is because like Hikikomori and NEAT, like Hikikomori it's not a concept that has a mental health it's not a mental health diagnosis. So if someone who was struggling with Hikikomori talked to a therapist, what they would actually be diagnosed with wouldn't be Hikikomori. It would be something else within like the realm of mental health. Could it be anxiety? I don't know. Could it be agoraphobia? I don't know. Could it be some realm of personality disorder? I don't know. And I think the difficulty with that is that if we're not willingly engaging in society, would we go to a therapist? Would we then, and if we don't go to a therapist or a doctor or some kind of mental health professional or medical professional, if we don't seek out those services, how likely are we to be diagnosed? So there are a lot of things about Hikikomori and like the mental health of Hikikomori that are like interesting, I guess, in that way. But with this particular route, when Cal has given us the option to engage in society, I guess we've chosen not to. I guess again that makes me think that this entire route was going to be inside. That we are going to choose to engage with the dreams even more. And I don't know what that means for this character either. And the idea of like processing through the trauma and all of that other stuff. Floors are finally clean. Feel a little dizzy. Oh! Well, that was some lovely fear squibbles. Did we just faint? Sunny, that's not good. Oh. That's fucking awful. Whispers emanate from inside the box. You still recognize your home. Well, we can't go inside half our home. Also, if we've been just like living here for 3-4 years, I sure shit hope we recognize our home. The eye of the something. Next to the door leading to the backyard. Go there, of course. Face our fears. Mari hasn't been home in a long time. That feels true. Sadly. If I remember right, well, it's cuter when it's eggs that we're walking over and not spiders. Oh, this room reminds me of, I can't remember which Indiana Jones movie it is, but the one where they're like, it sounds like fortune cookies or whatever the kid says, and then they're just like then like the lights come on, they're surrounded by bugs and they're stepping on bugs and bugs are everywhere. Oh. Where's the knife? Do we already have the knife? We just did a roundabout. No. There's Mari's hair. Bottom of the stairs. Haunting our nightmares. It all hits different now that you know what it is, right? And the door off to the left where the violin, the broken violin is, the eye of something. The piano room off to the right that meant so much to Mari is also. All these things blocked off, right? I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, are we still going to be even looking for Basil? Because Basil started to reveal the truth. And that's why Omori or us, like Sunny, snatched Basil away to protect us from learning the truth. But if we've willingly, at a certain point, chosen not to embrace things that would show the truth, then will we still be looking for Basil? In this dream world. We also have so many moments where we see Mari. You know, you open up the fridge and you get a flash of her behind you. It's a bit like when you see the something behind you in the mirror. And if we had that experience every single day, it makes it seem easy to see how escaping into a dream world that is cute and colorful and not scary would be an easy thing to do. When everything around you is something mundane as a fridge is so haunting and terrifying and scary and a reminder of the worst moment of your life, it is easy to see how avoidance is an easy choice. Especially this kind of avoidance, where it's cute and colorful, right? Like, the game really sets that up and shows that in a way that is relatable. Especially once you know what happens. Once you know what happens, playing the game a second time hits different. Welcome back, Omori Sea Hero. I told you not to worry. Omori always shows up when we need him. Again, hits different after Black Space. Is everything okay, Omori? We were worried about you. It is interesting, too, how every time we're in the dream world, we are Omori, and every time we are in reality, we are Sunny. So, we are in this dream world. We are not ourselves. We have this persona that has essentially been developed as a way to protect ourselves. At least that's how I kind of see Omori. But, like, is Sunny actually seeing this as Omori? Like, how does that kind of work? Because, like, Sunny doesn't really feel differently until Black Space. So, like, Omori then, if we think of Omori as a different person, right, just to separate them in my brain, then Omori sees these cute and colorful people as his friends, too. Wouldn't that make you want more with them? Now that you're here, let's go out and look for Basil. He's counting on us. So we are still looking for Basil. Be patient, Kel. We have to make sure that Omori is okay first. Or maybe you and Hiro can go yourselves. Come on, Omori, let's go exploring together. Little twirl, just the two of us. Hey, you can't leave us out of this. I mean, they could, I guess. Omori can do a lot of things in this world. Just saying. He's right, Aubrey. We have to do this together as a team. You never know when you'll need someone's help. We're stronger when we work together. Omori and I will be fine on our own. He's the cutest pouty face. You'll protect me, won't you, Omori? Ew, gross. Get a room. You guys are like kids. I mean, at this age, I kind of picture you guys like dating, going out on recess. So, I don't think they need a room. Come on, Aubrey. It's time to get serious now. Let's go tell Mari that Omori is okay. You know how she's always worrying about him? Okay, fine. I'm just trying to have a little fun. How is Mari with all of this? I would like my allowance, please. Yes. 750 clams! Shit. Mori gets rich. This also hits differently, right? We saw that, I remember where it was. Oh, near Humphrey. There's that, like, image with one of the letters of someone cutting down the tree. I guess the assumption is Sunny's dad cutting down the tree that Mari was hanging from. Yet, every time we come out of a cut down tree, out of a stump. Not like we're talking about the giving tree here, right? Like, this is also alluding to something. What letters do I have? A... Oh. Is this the same? Welcome. I think so. Okay. 5 letters. Hi, Mari. Look, Omori is here. Omori! Stop disappearing like that. You know my heart can't take it. So there's still no sign of Basil? Where could he be? We're not sure. We've been looking for him everywhere and still nothing. I hope Basil's okay. I miss him so much. Yeah, I miss hearing him talk about all the stuff he's into. All, like, flowers and stuff, and the photo stuff, and the art stuff, and the reading stuff. My hair is so tangly. I want some Basil used to brush my hair. Omori, will you brush it for me? With the red hands? No, thank you. Well, I miss when Basil used to remind me to wash my hands. Cal, wash your fucking hands. Look, they're so dirty. Your hands, child. Ew, Cal. Cal, you should probably wash your hands. Everyone I know is tough right now, but we have to stay positive. We should all try to be like Basil. Even when Basil is upset, he always manages to smile. Or is the smile like masking his pain? So, is there anywhere you haven't checked yet? Outside of our house? Well, there's a forest west of the stump, but it's gross and full of spiders. Hero. Spider. Well, you know what that means. Once again, it's time to face your fears, little brother. And that means you too, Hero. Oh. Come on, big bro, you can't back out now. It's just like how it is at the Mori. We're here to support you all the way. Yeah, you're right. I'm just being silly. Don't worry, guys. If anyone or anything tries to hurt you, I'll smash it out of the way. You can count on it. Don't forget about me. I'll always be there to help, too. Moments like that are also very bittersweet. Right? Mari is always... She's always safe. She's the save point. She always manages to beat us places, despite how dangerous it is. She has the healing stuff. She, in a lot of ways, felt, I guess, like the glue that bound everybody together. Because as soon as Mari was gone, the crew, the Scooby gang dissipated. So her saying, I'll always be there to help, she always reassures everybody. She's always the one you can ask hints about. Like, that also, that feels bittersweet, right? In the sense that we can talk to her in this world, but only here. Yeah. Yeah, we can do this together. Let's go to the forest west of the stump. Lead the way, Omori. Well, I'll be back when I find something else that is different. I guess I was expecting to not be chasing after Basil still. Something that I think I missed last time is going farther along this side. I got the magical bean before, but I didn't know I could go through the forest like this. This is unsettling. Daddy Longlegs. I'd also want to say this is one of the few safe spots where it's not the picnic basket in Mari. Welcome to the Lost Forest, where you find things you never knew were lost in the first place, like keys and my cell phone, or perhaps they're forgotten for a reason. I don't forget about my phone though. That's it. So I should save. This also feels like a good place to stop. These videos might be incredibly short just because of how much content in the game I'm kind of skipping through. I'm not skipping through it, but like I'm playing through it, you're not seeing it. It's kind of like an unspoken deal between us. It's not unspoken now, but you get what I mean. So these videos might be shorter, even though I'm going through way more of the content that you're not seeing. But it is what it is. I don't feel like I've quite seen a lot of the differences so far that the Hikikomori route has in store for me. Just because I feel like so much of the game that I've seen so far is in this wonderful, colorful, dreamlike world. But I'm sure that there's more. I guess it's one of those times where it's like I'm waiting for the real life stuff to come back, and then I'm sure we'll do more chores, and then I'm sure something scary will happen. It feels like not a random formula, but that kind of feels like a formula in that I'm kind of anticipating. But even when I'm in the dream world, there are some things that I know that I've missed that I can now explore and look for, which is fun. Like the Daddy Longlegs. There's also the red coral that I've been told that I've missed that now I have this opportunity to look for. So it's not just the real life stuff, I guess, that I can kind of look for now and look forward to, but also these things that I've missed. Having said that too, I'm sure there are things in the Hikikomori route that I just will miss just because I don't know maybe that it's new. That's also a possibility. So just putting it out there, this is not going to be like a completionist. Here's every single thing that is different about the Hikikomori route. This is probably just going to be like here's what I've noticed is different. Just wanted to put it out there. I'm going to miss things. Just like I did before. Like Daddy Longlegs. It happens. Having said all of that, we're going to stop here, and I will see you next time with whatever this lost Daddy Longlegs is.